we got a box. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Fishing with James. I got this package in the mail today, and I already know what it is, and I am extremely excited to show it to you guys. So I'm just gonna cut to the chase. We're gonna open this thing up. I've already cut the seal a little bit just to make this a little bit quicker. Oh man, I lost a few. Won't be needing this anymore. So here we have it, a box full of crankbaits. And they're not just any crankbaits, they are Bill Lewis crankbaits. And you might be wondering, James, why do you have 24 crankbaits sitting right here in front of you? And to that, I would say that I am proud to announce that I am now part of the Bill Lewis influencer team. And basically what that means is that I'm going to be able to use these lures to get out and catch a lot of fish. And specifically, in a video coming very soon to this channel, I'm gonna go out and use all of these lures and try to catch a bass on every single one of them in one day. But before I get way ahead of myself, I'm miles ahead of today's video. We're just gonna be going through, and I'm gonna be showing you guys each one of these crankbaits, talking a little bit about them. They have medium diving crankbaits, they have square bill crankbaits, of course they have the original Rattletraps. There's just a whole slew of crankbaits in here. With that little intro out of the way, I'm gonna go ahead and just start going through these crankbaits. First, I need to line these up a little bit better. This is just a massive pile. I need to fix this. Also, before I even do anything with this, I forgot one major component here in this whole equation. If you like fishing crankbaits, and specifically if you like fishing Bill Lewis baits, I have a code where you can save 15% off the whole website. Every order, every crankbait you buy, every shirt, everything that is in, you get 15% off of the entire order if you use my code Miller15. It's right there on the screen. So yeah, if you guys are doing a lot of crankbait fishing this summer like I am, check the link down in the description below or in the pinned comment, and it's a link to their website with my code already applied. So right when you get to checkout, it's already applied, and you're good to go with a 15% discount. Now let's organize these lures. All right, I think they're organized now. We have 4 different series of crankbaits right here in front of me. I'm gonna go through each series kind of separately, talk about them, and then we're gonna get into the different colorways and patterns, and I'll show close-ups of each one so you get a real good look at the specific colorway. I'll try to put a little text box on screen somewhere. If you miss what I said, you can actually see what I'm talking about. If you see one that you just can't live without, I'll leave all the links separately for every single one of these lures down in the description below so that you can check out that crankbait specifically. So we're gonna start out with the thing that we all know and love, the original Rattletrap. And the first one we're gonna take a look at here today is the black Crappie Rattletrap. So I picked up this little crappie pattern here to emulate a crappie. See if I can draw in a big bass on a crappie bait. So that was the first Rattletrap that I picked up. The next one here is a, oh man, I'm gonna butcher this name. Chinquapin. That's gotta be wrong, but that's the name right there. That's the name. This looks exactly like a sunfish, kind of like a bluegill, red ear sunfish type color. There are a ton of these almost everywhere I fish. Picked up one of these because it matches the hatch just about everywhere you go. Next we have a Chartreuse Silver Shad. Now I'm going for more of a shad presentation. A lot of the major lakes around here have threadfin shad and gizzard shad. I felt like this would be a good bait because you kind of can cover multiple species with it. You got bass obviously, but you can also get on striped bass, hybrids, and sand bass, white bass, that whole little category. Whenever they're schooling up and they're eating shad, throw this in there and you are bound to just absolutely slay. Ah yes, one of my favorite muddy water colors, we have Fire Tiger. This color right here is just known to catch big fish and stain the muddy water. This lure will be perfect for that. Next up we have, I picked up this one just really for the sentimental value for me. This was actually the color of the first bait that I ever fished, the baby bass Rattletrap. This is one of the 2 Rattletraps that my grandma gave me, and I remember I liked this one a lot, this color. And I'm sure this will be a great addition to my crankbait lineup as well. And finally, this one's just kind of an oddball pick for me. I've never fished a color like this, but I've always wanted to, and I know they work. It is the B&B Craw, just black and blue Craw. I know so many people that swear by black and blue crankbaits, and I've wanted to throw them, but I just never have. So I picked up a black and blue crankbait. I'll probably fish this again, kind of like the Fire Tiger earlier, stain the muddy water. Also, when those craws start turning kind of blue, here in Texas, I know one of the ponds I fish, at least once or twice a year, those crawfish turn really dark blue, and something like this will match the hatch perfectly. Now, straying away from the original rattle traps, we're going into a whole new series of baits. All of these baits here are either square bills or medium diving crankbaits. We're going to start out with the Bill Lewis Echo. We're just going to dive in here with the first color. It is a Chartreuse Shiner. Now I'm going to talk a little bit about this bait with this first color here. This is a bigger profile square bill crankbait. I like throwing these in early spring or whenever that fall transition starts. Typically I throw bigger crankbaits like this in the pre-spawn when those fish are just moving up. Chartreuse is just a good color to get out there and cover water in stained conditions. And so that's what I picked up for the first Echo. Very similar to the original Rattletrap. If you listen to the rattle, it's a very kind of like a high-pitched rattle. And you listen to this, it's a little bit lower, but it still kind of has that resemblance to the Rattletrap, and it's just, I guess, hence the name, it echoes when it's out in the water. Next we have our first red bait. I have very many red baits out here. I picked a bunch of red baits. This one here, I believe, is just red crawfish. Just a typical red square bill crankbait. What can I say? Red crankbaits, it's very hard to beat those. I've caught multiple really big fish on red crankbaits, again, in the spring. Early spring, when those fish are just starting to move up out of deep water, hitting that pre-spawn phase. Red is a great color, and so that's the second Echo that I have here with me. Next, going back towards kind of a bluegill presentation, we have the Sunrise Perch. It's a bluegill based colorway with a little bit of chartreuse on the bottom side. I think this will be good for kind of a mixed situation. It's not necessarily super clear water. You got a little bit of both. You got a little bit of chartreuse, you got a little bit of natural, and it's a good happy medium. Going back to the trend I said earlier in a lot of the lakes around here, we have a ton of shad, so I absolutely had to pick up a Gizzard Shad. When I know there's fish chasing shad, whether it's in the shad spawn, here in the fall in Texas, fish push shad up into creeks and mouths of coves, and throwing something like this, just covering water, burning this around, is going to be sure to catch some fish for me here later in the year. So that's the next one I got, the Gizzard Shad Echo. Now we're back towards kind of the one we had a minute ago with the Sunrise Perch. We have the Blueberry Perch. Now this one's a more natural style. You have just a little bit of orange on the bottom, a more dark bluegill pattern. This will be good for the clearer water that I fish around here. Mimics bluegill perfectly, and I mean, you cannot go wrong with bluegill. The next Echo I got is the Stump Knocker. It looks a little bit similar to the Blueberry Perch in that it has that little orange bottom and a kind of a blue side, but this is a much lighter blue. It has kind of like a little blue streak down the middle. I've never seen a crankbait in this color, but that's kind of why I picked it. I want to try new things. I'm sure this will work very well too. The next line of crankbaits that we're going to be taking a look at today is the Mark Daniels Jr. Signature Lures SB57. Now this is a smaller profile crankbait. Again, upon first glance, this is a much smaller profile than the Echo. So you got a little smaller of a profile here. And I'm looking on the back, and it says that there's a honeycomb pattern in the middle, which allows for the side walls of the crankbait to be a little bit thinner, which allows for more action. I didn't mention this about the other crankbaits. I guess it's an oversight. These dive 3 to 5 feet, and these also cover 3 to 5 feet. So you have two different series of baits that cover the same water column but have different presentations, which I really like. Now talking about the color, the first one we have is Sneaky Shad. Again, starting out with the shad bait. I picked up a shad bait just in case I'm out there on the lake, but again, I don't do it too often. Next we have a Mustard Craw. This is a little bit brighter than the red craws that I have. It's more of an orangish yellow. And another reason I picked this one up is I fished an all orange chatterbait for the first time earlier this year, and I caught some giant fish on it. So I figured, you know what, orangish yellow, I'm gonna give it another chance with the SB57 here. With Mustard Craw. And of course, I saw this one, I had to get it. I got the Strawberry Craw. Love this color. It has kind of like a dark red, that purple glow on top of it. I'm in love with this color, and I feel like it's the perfect red for me, and so that's why I had to get it. Again, whenever we talk about pre-spawn, this next year, I'm going to be absolutely loaded, and this is going to be one of the first baits I tie on every time I'm out. Going back to shad, we have the Tennessee Shad. This is more of a green top. It has like a green, dark green on top with, again, just a shad profile on the side. This was just an interesting color for me. I feel like I could get away with imitating this as a baby bass if I really wanted to. And obviously I can also use this as a shad. It is a shad, but it's kind of a double usage for me. Whenever I'm out fishing other ponds that I'm fishing, there's a bunch of baby bass. Tie something like this on, I could get away with it looking like a baby bass. Finally, in the SB57 series, we have the Chartreuse Shiner. I liked this chartreuse pattern. It has black on top, chartreuse on the side. I feel like in the pre-spawn, right next to all the red baits, you have chartreuse black crankbaits. I feel like those two kind of go together hand in hand. If you're not going to throw one, you're going to throw the other. So that is why I picked up this crankbait. In the last series of crankbaits here, we have another Mark Daniels Jr. signature lure. We have the Mr6 Crankbait. Now this crankbait is more of a deeper crankbait. I say deeper, it's not like deep diving by any means. It's 6 feet. That's one thing I forgot to mention about the SB57. It has a little, so you've got, obviously, let's go in order here. Got the Rattletrap, really high pitch rattle. Next, you've got the Echo. Again, pretty high pitch rattle with a little bit of a knock in there. Then you've got the SB57, which is a little bit quieter than the rest of them. It's a little bit more low key. And finally here you have the Mr6, which is just a super deep knock. And this crankbait right here has a really slow rise whenever you stop it. Now we have a bunch of different colors here, so we're just gonna dive right in. First one we have here is the Cellmate. Now the first thing that I thought of when I saw this was Crappie. Now, I might be just totally off, but whenever I see this bait, I see Crappie. And again, going in the theme with that Crappie Rattletrap over there, I wanted a Crappie style lure, and so that's kind of what I was going for with this crankbait. Oh, hold up, I made a mistake. I missed one of the SB57s. This is the Rayburn Red Craw in SB57 color, and I'm just going to kind of speed run this one because the next Mr6 I was looking at was Rayburn Red Craw. This is more of a kind of brownish red, I guess, if you can kind of see what I'm talking about here. It's not super bright and vibrant, but it's more of a dark red, and then you have gold down the side of it. And I really like that. It's a really cool color, and I haven't got to fish it all too much because I normally just fish those super bright reds, but I figured try something a little bit new with this color right here. Next we have the Ghost Craw. This is kind of a translucent craw, kind of like a brownish color, and you have purple stripes down the side of it. Again, a pretty natural color here, and I liked it. There isn't much more to say about it. I've never fished a color like this before, but I liked it a lot. We're going to try it out and fish with it, obviously. Next, I mentioned earlier how I liked the Strawberry Craw a lot. I got 2 Strawberry Craw Mr6s. Again, I wanted all bases to be covered for the pre-spawn next year. For me, I like fishing the pre-spawn the most. I feel like that's when my best chance is to get out and just catch an absolute giant. So I want to have all the right colors, and so I got 2 Strawberry Craws just because it's gonna work. The next double up that I got was a Silverado Mr6. Again, going for the shad presentation. I didn't get all that many shad square bill crankbaits, so I figured getting something that dives a little bit deeper, I might as well just make up for it and get 2 of them, double down, and get just the traditional shad crankbait. You got black top, kind of like a gray net pattern on the side, white bottom with a little bit of red right underneath the nose. Just a perfect shad color, and so that is the next one I got. Finally, to wrap it all up, we went for just a curveball here, something completely different. We have the blue chartreuse. And I felt like the Mr6 would be a great chance to try out that blue chartreuse again. I'll probably be fishing it here in the stained water ponds that I fish. Straying away from the baits, they sent me this amazing cap right here, this Rattletrap cap. Has kind of like a little camo honeycomb type vector pattern on it. And finally they sent me this Bill Lewis shirt right here. That's gonna be my next big focus with all these baits, is just to go out and just do a full-blown slam with these. So there you have it, my official announcement video, so to speak, about working with Bill Lewis in the future. I'm beyond excited for this. I cannot wait to start getting out and fishing these lures and catching some fish and bringing you guys along for every step of the way. And this 100% would not have been possible without the support from every single one of you watching this video right now. I really do, from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate it, and it means the world to have you guys following along on every one of my little journeys. So not to get all sappy there, but man, yeah, it really does mean a lot. So I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this video. Again, if you've seen any bait in here that you really like, make sure you use my code Miller15 to save 15% off on your order. on the Bill Lewis website. Again, I've linked every single one of these crankbaits down below. If you check the very top of the description and the pinned comment, I have my code embedded in a link so that you can immediately have it applied whenever you go to checkout. So if you did enjoy this, I'm pretty sure this is a wombo size unboxing video. If you guys did enjoy that, make sure to hit the like button down below. And if you are new, hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications so that you won't miss any of my future videos. And with all of that said, I will see you all on the next episode of Fishing with James.